Hi everyone, this is Brian from ProductLaunchNetworks.com. Today we got a really awesome guest. His name is Derek Halpern. He's the founder of Social Triggers, and Derek is all about showing you how to use human psychology to turn traffic into leads and sales. And if you're not getting any traffic, he got that covered too. And Derek built a highly engaged email list of more than 13,000 subscribers in just 9 months. And how do I know it's highly engaged? Because I open every single email that he sent me. And when he tells me to go to Facebook and to say hi, I do exactly that. And guess what? That everyone else is doing that too because it shows up on Facebook, right? So his stuff is that good. And he also built other widely popular blogs in different weird niches like gossip, makeup, fashion, gaming. And to date, he's generated around 100 million hits across all his blogs. So wow. So thank you for being with us here today, Derek.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be doing this with you.
Awesome. Now, tell us a little bit of background before you started Social Trigger.
Yeah, so before, as in like what I studied, or before the internet, or when I got on the internet? What do you mean?
Let's go before before you got on the internet.
All right, so before I got on the internet, I was in college.
Yeah.
I was an English major. I did a lot of studying on psychology, but overall, I majored in English with a really intent focus on things like Shakespeare and old English authors like Chaucer or people from like the 1600s, all these different types of old English people.
Yeah.
Needless to say, that doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
So I started looking into online publishing and writing online and trying to figure out how I can really use my ability to write words and figure out how to build a business with that. That's how I stumbled on blogging back in around 2005.
2005, okay.
Yep. And so that was really what kind of led me on that path of building the website. It's just I knew how to write. I knew a lot about psychology. I thought that let me take this to the internet.
Got it. And then so what did you start? What did you do?
My first site was actually a blog about my personal dating stories.
Really?
Very similar to this guy, Tucker Max. He had a website where he talked about his dating stories, and I was like, wait a second. I do stupid things on dates too. Let me write about my dating stories.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I copied his whole brand, and it didn't work for me. Nobody read my site.
Got it.
But I knew it was possible. So then I stumbled on a gossip blog. Yeah, a celebrity gossip blog. I hate celebrity gossip, but I stumbled on a celebrity gossip blog. And I thought, wait a second, my life isn't that interesting. Let me start writing some celebrity gossip articles.
Yeah.
And that's really the first blog that took off. Actually, from the day I launched it, within 1 year of launching it, I was already generating millions of hits on my site every month.
Wow. Okay. So then what happened?
Well, I started launching makeup sites, fashion sites, and other things related in the gossip industry. But I realized that there's a big problem. As I said, I hated celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
I don't wear women's clothes.
Good. That's good to know.
And I don't wear makeup. So I was writing about all this stuff I hated, even though I was making a killing. I was making a bunch of money. I graduated college. I bought a place right after I graduated college, fresh out of college, bought my own place, was making a nice income. By the end of 2007, I got so sick of it that I quit. I quit everything. I folded up all my sites. I hired a bunch of freelance writers to write for me. That way I didn't have to write anymore. And then I went to the next thing.
Okay, I see. So what's the next? What happened? Why are we going along the line? Why don't we just keep going a little bit? Yeah.
All right. So after that, I actually got a job at a Fortune 100 company.
Okay.
Earning in a year what I was actually capable of earning every 2 or 3 months on the internet. Wow. And I did that because I was so sick of what I was doing on the internet that I thought that the Fortune 100 company had to be better. The grass is always greener, as they say, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I did that for almost a year and a half, 2 years, and I loved it. It was great. It was a great experience. I got to work with a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
But the inner writer, inner entrepreneur in me was starting to flare up again, at which point I teamed up with DIYthemes.com, the creative thesis, and I do all their marketing. Yeah. I also launched Social Triggers, and that's my main business right now, which is Social Triggers.
Okay, great. Now let's talk about Social Triggers. So how how did you did you quit and then you say, okay, I want to go back to, or were
Yeah,
you
I
you
quit the
got up?
Fortune 100 thing to refocus on doing just internet stuff, and that's when I started working with DIY themes and social triggers.
So how did you how did you find your niche of social
With
triggers?
social triggers,
Yes.
so marketing websites and blogging or marketing about blogging about marketing is a very crowded niche, as
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And if you want to stand out in a crowded niche and be remembered in a crowded niche, you really got to have a unique position.
Yeah.
This goes back all the way to the book Positioning by Al Ries and Jack Trout, where you got to find your unique selling proposition and then nail that down. So I took a big analysis of all the blogs about marketing and all the blogs about blogging and all the blogs about internet marketing.
Yeah.
Took a look at everyone who is currently in the space
Yeah.
and plotted them on a piece of paper and figured out where I could kind of squeeze my way in and build a niche. And that's when I focused on two things: blogging meets psychology
Yeah.
and blogging meets conversions. Those two intersections were not really being talked about right now. And that gave me my opportunity to really find my unique selling proposition to break into that particular market.
Got it. So you look at everything that's kind of related or semi-related in this space. You actually write it down on a piece of paper?
Yeah,
You didn't
actually
do
a whiteboard. A
a
whiteboard.
whiteboard. Okay, you didn't do a
Actually,
spreadsheet.
if you want to see it, the whiteboard. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to see. Oh, that big ass one.
Yeah.
Ah, so you kind of just draw it and then you look and see what space is missing, how you can squeeze yourself in and how you can stand
Exactly.
out.
I
Got it.
don't look at all the blogs that exist. I
Yeah.
look at all the big guys.
The
I'm
big
not
ones.
gunning to be. I didn't launch Social Triggers with hopes of just getting 1,000 readers. I launched Social Triggers with the goal of being one of the main blogs in the industry.
Got
So
it.
I only really compared myself to the top guys and where I could kind of squeeze my way in. You know what I mean?
Got it.
Like a lot of people make the mistake of, well, I don't have a unique idea. What am I going to do? And you don't really need a unique idea. You just got to see who the big guys are and see what's unique in comparison to all the big people.
Got it. Okay, great. So now you got the niche that you want to target, you want to focus on, right? So what is your business model? Like how would you plan to make money from this? How'd you come about coming up with that answer?
All right, so about 4 years ago, I think it was, maybe 4 years ago, I had a really big traffic day on one of my sites. I got over 1 million hits in a day.
Wow.
And that equated to several thousands of dollars in ad revenue,
Yeah.
naturally, because 1 million hits. So I made several thousands of dollars in one day
Yeah.
from ad revenue. This was back in like 2007.
Yeah.
Naturally, I was ecstatic. You know, a few $1,000s a day, one day profit. Damn, that's great.
Right.
Then I talked to my friend, who you probably know, this guy Brian Clark,
Yeah.
copy blogger,
Yeah.
and he released a training course where he got I don't remember what the exact numbers were, so don't quote me on this,
Yeah.
but he got 40,000 hits and made 20 times more money than I did off of 40,000 hits because he was selling something. And I asked him, what's the deal?
Yeah.
I know how to get a big audience, but how do I get that kind of revenue like you're generating? And he
Yeah.
told me very clearly, he goes, Derek, you got to build an audience of people and then you got to sell them some stuff. And that's what I did. That back in 2007, it all made sense. All you got to do to make money or build a business online is build an audience of people who want to buy stuff and then
Yeah.
sell them stuff they want to buy. That's all you got to do. That's my business model.
Got it. Okay, got it. So that's very clear. Very, very clear. Okay, so you got your niche, you got your business model. So how do you go about getting noticed and spreading your words?
Well, me personally, I use an approach that some people won't be able to pull off.
Yeah.
I use video site reviews of all the top guys. I was able to pull this off mainly because a lot of people knew about me and knew and respected my advice.
Yeah.
So they were willing to do those site reviews with me.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a reputation yet, what you do is you do guest posting. Everyone knows about the power of guest posting, but here's where people go wrong. when you guest post, you want to do a lot of guest posts in a short period of time. When I did those site reviews, I did like 20 site reviews in like 4 weeks. I did that because I wanted people to read different websites and make it impossible for them to ignore me. Make it impossible. And like I said, most people go wrong because they'll do a guest post each month and they'll do one a month. And what ends up happening is they become forgettable because they're not getting that blitz of momentum. If you save up 10 guest posts, get them to all go live within 30 days, now it kind of creates this overwhelming presence of who is this guy and why do I see his face everywhere?
Yeah, okay, I see. But the question that popped up in my head is that when you're creating these blog posts, a lot of times do you have a say on when it's going to go out, or the person who owns the blog has to say when it's going to blow out? How are you going to pull this 30-day plan?
Of course, the person you're writing for has all the say and everything. But you can request. You could say, "Hey, I'm trying to get this to go live within this particular span of time," and they'll usually work with you. You know, like, don't say you want it to go live next week. Say, like, if you want this to go live, you say, "Well, I would love for this blog post to go live in February."
Yeah.
What you do is you start those 12 blog posts. You tell all these different bloggers now, "Hey, I would like this to go live in February," and chances are they'll be willing to work with you.
And okay, great. That's a great tip. And also I got that what you said about how you spread your words is doing video review of their site, of people's sites, right? How did you come up? Because that's very unique. No one's doing it. So how did you come about that? So we can use that strategy to look for ways that that's unique also.
So when you want to find a way to stand out, you got to not just look at what is happening in your space, but look at what's happening outside of your space.
Very good. Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
And what I did specifically was I would always go to a lot of conferences.
Yeah.
And I was at Affiliate Summit East, I think it was, or maybe it was Affiliate Summit West. And they have a session called SEO Site Clinics.
SEO Site Clinics.
SEO Site Clinics. I went to this SEO Site Clinic. It was like standing room only. It was packed.
Wow.
And what they do in this site clinic, they would pull up people's websites from the audience and review their website for SEO live on the board. And I was looking around. I was like, whoa. Everyone loves this.
Yeah.
Why can't I do this on the internet? And sure enough, I did it on the internet and it worked.
Totally.
You know, because everyone loves site clinics. I just made it for conversion stuff and it worked. But I can't say that even though I wanted to do site clinics online, I didn't pull the trigger on it yet. What actually made me pull the trigger was my friend Chris Brogan had hit me up one Saturday. No joke. I had just woken up. I was unshowered. I literally just got out of bed, and Chris Brogan's hit me up on Skype. He's telling me, it's like, "Derek, let's do a quick site review of my site. I want it to go live next week." And I was sitting there thinking, like, wait a second, dude, can I just go shower real quick? And he said, sure. So I showered real quick. We did a site review, and after we did that, I was just sitting there thinking, like, you know what? I need to do a site review. I got to do 20 more of these in the next 3 weeks. And literally, I dropped everything I was doing to make sure I would get more site reviews in the next few weeks. And that's kind of how Social Triggers went from nothing to something.
So what other strategy did you use to build your subscribers?
This is where a lot of people kind of hate me. There's no tricks, there's no tips, there's none of that. There's no strategies. Once you have a unique position for your blog, and then if you do that blitz where everyone could see your face in a short period of time, that's usually enough to kickstart the growth.
Got it.
Honestly. That's enough to kickstart the growth. There's some other more hardcore strategies that really would take me forever to go into in this short interview that we're doing here. Yeah. But the main goal is build an audience, sell them stuff. You build an audience by having a unique position. You build that audience by doing that blitz of guest posting in a short period of time. Yeah. And then you kind of continuously create great content. Like I wrote an article called How to Craft Contagious Content on socialtriggers.com.
Yeah.
And that's an example that when you write content, always write contagious content.
Yeah. And
that will help you grow also.
Got it. So the most important thing, if you don't have your positioning right, and that's nothing's gonna work, right?
Exactly. Gotta have that positioning right. Because there's actually a friend of mine. He he's a very hard worker. He's always writing guest posts. He's always blogging. He's always putting articles up on his own site.
Yeah.
But his site doesn't have a unique position. So his conversion rates are lower. People aren't remembering him. People aren't linking him. People aren't remembering to go back to him. But when you have a unique position, it's easy to get people to know who you are, remember who you are, and get people to actually want to talk about you. And without that position, you can't really make that happen.
I see. So I'm just thinking what you're saying right now, because I'm a fan and I'm a subscriber of you, right? So I'm thinking, okay, why am I opening your every emails that you send me? Why am I doing what you're telling me to do? So exactly what you said. You got a unique position. You blitz that you just showed up like, I couldn't avoid you for a period of time, and those are, and at the same time, all those things really had a lot of value in it,
Yeah.
And that's how I started to just like, wow, listening to what you're saying, and consistently you also write high quality, unique content.
Yes.
I think that's it.
I actually wrote a rant about this on Google Plus today. Content without purpose is pointless. There are so many people out there who create content for the sake of creating content.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong answer. You've got to create content with a purpose, because content without purpose is pointless. And what do I mean by purpose?
Yes.
This particular piece of content will reinforce my brand of, let's say, the minimal design philosophy. This particular content will test my audience to see if they're interested in learning about video marketing.
Yeah.
This particular piece of content will build into a series about conversion rate optimization that will help reinforce my brand as a conversion rate optimization person.
Yeah.
This content might be about human behavior or psychology, and that will build into my psychology brand. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Each content needs a purpose. Don't create content for the sake of creating it.
That's very clear. I mean, if you create content for the sake of creating, you're just thinking about that piece. And what you're saying is look ahead. What's your purpose of leading that? Where's it going with this thing?
Exactly. Actually, there's a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Start with why.
And that's all about figuring out why you exist. Like, companies who really have really rabid, loyal followings have a why they do what they do. They don't just show you how to do it. They don't show you what to do. They have a reason why they do what they do. And I spent a lot of time crafting or figuring out my why, just so I could then make sure that everything I did was building into that why. It kind of made it a more bigger picture approach, as opposed to here's another blog post today, here's another blog post today. Yeah. Every blog post built into something bigger.
So what's your why, Derek? What motivates you?
Why do I do what I do?
Yeah, totally.
All right, so I mean, the truth is, when I first started Social Triggers earlier this year, I was sick and tired of all the bad advice being tossed around in the blogging and social media space and the marketing space.
Yeah.
And it was pissing me off because a lot of people were hitting me up following this horrible advice and then asking me what's wrong. And I started looking around. I was like, well, you're listening to the wrong people.
Yeah.
And I decided, I got so frustrated with that I decided that, you know what, it's time I teach people how to do this stuff, because the stuff that's out there isn't currently working.
Yeah.
So my reasoning was, I was sick and tired of the bad advice being tossed around, and now I was about to show people some good advice.
That's how you got started. How about now?
Yeah.
Is it the same thing? Because now
I want people to understand that beyond tools, beyond blogging, social media, beyond email marketing, beyond all of that,
yeah,
there are people sitting at computers. And if you want to succeed in 2011, 2012 and on, you got to understand people. If you know what makes people do the things they do,
yeah,
you can make them do it or influence them to do it. So that's why I'm always talking about psychology, because at the end of the day, it's not the tools, it's not the emails, it's none of that. It's the people sitting at computers, knowing what makes them tick. And once you know it, that's how you build a business, because you know exactly what they want to buy. You know what makes them buy. You know what's going to make them click. You know what's going to get them out of their seat and go to a conference. You're going to know all of these things when you know what goes on inside their head.
I see. So this is your, and you want to show people that, and also for yourself also too. Because you're learning. I imagine, I mean, you're learning all this thing at the same time too. I mean, what do you...
Well, I'm always learning, yes. But a lot of this stuff I've known for a very long time and I've implemented for a very long time. I learned most of this stuff, years ago, and now I'm currently in refinement mode. I kind of know it all. I don't want to say know it all already. I'm always learning new stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff you see me write about
Yeah.
is stuff that I have personal experience with. So you'll never see me write about something I haven't tested.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
A lot of people will find a cool study and they'll write an article about a study. Actually, there's a lot of people writing articles that quote psychology studies now, but it's funny because they're obviously just quoting the psych studies but haven't had the hands-on experience of actually using that study on the internet.
Yeah, totally. It's you can smell it in terms of their just quoting somebody and there's no meat in it.
Exactly.
There's no meat. When I read your stuff, there's quote and also there's meat.
Exactly.
It's tasty.
Yeah.
So all right, okay. So I think that's a lot of already very good advice on how to position yourself and how to build an email list. And I actually have a question about what's your daily routine like? So how do you get stay productive? That's what I'm interested in. What do you do? What's that
I wake up when I wake up.
Yeah.
I have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'll eat at some point. I'll go mosey over to the computer and I'll proceed to screw around for like 2 or 3 hours doing nothing. Then maybe I'll get into work mode. I'll do a little bit of work, then I'll go screw around for a little bit more, maybe go to Starbucks at this point to get another coffee. And then finally, like 6, 7 o'clock at night comes around, I'm finally deciding, all right, it's time to do some work. And then I'll get a phone call from a friend, at which point I'll, go out. No, seriously,
Okay.
More seriously, I don't really have a schedule. I don't have a method to my madness. I wake up when I wake up and I just work when I work. I try not to have any schedules whatsoever.
Interesting.
I don't like timing myself. I like to figure out, when I'm in the mood to work, I work. When I'm not in the mood to work, I don't work. It's really that simple,
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess everyone's different. You got to figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. For me, if I do that, then I'll just really screw around for a long time and really not really get much work done. So what's next for you?
It's continuously growing social triggers. There's nothing next. Social triggers will be my thing.
Yeah.
That's a long-term vision. I'm releasing a product which is code-named BRB.
BRB.
That'll be sooner than later. I'm releasing something really cool where I'm going to feature it's going to be like almost an audio series, and people are going to love this audio series. They're going to love the BRB product too, but the audio series will be really cool. And that's pretty much it, honestly, for the next maybe 2 months.
So you planning to launch it is it top secret?
Yeah, so right now there's no firm date on when it's going to be launched. I was aiming for it to come out before the holidays.
Yeah.
But I actually, while filming it, about 20% of it was really, really, really good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't perfect, so I scrapped it and I redid it. So I'm kind of set behind, but maybe towards the end of this month, early next month is when it'll probably come out.
Can you tell us a little about what is it about? Like BRB. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to show people how to build a blog that actually generates business results.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, great.
How to actually build a blog and generate business results. Not just build a blog for the sake of talking to your friends, but build a blog that gets you leads, traffic, and sales, which kind of aligns with my brand anyway. I show people how to do all that.
Great. This will be your first product on Social Trigger.
First information product. I've previously launched a software product called Webinar Bridge.
Okay.
That helps it so you create a webinar sign-up page. You sign up on the webinar sign-up page. It sends that information to either MailChimp or Aweber.
Yeah.
And then sends that same information to GoToWebinar. So you can get your emails in Aweber and your emails in GoToWebinar for a webinar. That was the first product.
Yeah.
The next product is the information product, and I have another software product coming out also.
Awesome. Wow. Cool. And I would love to find out more about it and see how that goes. When you launch those things. So so people can find you at socialtrigger.com, socialtriggers.com.
Socialtriggers.com. When you go there enter your name in the email box and press get updates. And there you'll see a welcome email from me.
Yeah.
In that welcome email, I ask people to reply.
Yeah.
Reply to that email if you're not on my list, and just say hello. I would love to meet you.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.